What is up, guys? Delboy here. So, some more news in regards to the Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Povetkin card. There are several reports online indicating that David Price is going to be fighting Russian heavyweight prospect Sergey Kuzmin. This would be an interesting fight as far as I'm concerned, stylistically, and it will be a fun fight, you know. A little bit about Sergey Kuzmin. He's 31 years old. He's about 6'4". He has a very good amateur background. He's an aggressive fighter, likes to come forward, got a decent jab, nice right hand behind it, and he carries decent power. 9 knockouts in 12 fights. He also has one no contest on his record against Amir Mansour. That was back in November 2017. I felt that was a good step-up fight for Kuzmin at that time, but it was called off in the second or third round due to a head clash, accidental. Kuzmin picked up a bad cut and it had to be stopped. I felt Mansour started the first round quite well. He was boxing okay, making the most of his speed, but in round 2 I felt that Kuzmin was starting to get back into the fight and starting to impose his will and his style on the fight. I think a fight between David Price and Kuzmin would be very fun. I know there's quite a few fans out there who will disagree with this type of matchmaking should it come through. But, you know, I believe that David Price, at worst case, like I said, he's a very fun addition to a card. He's got a huge air of vulnerability about him. He's got a bad chin, a bad defence, poor gas tank. He's got a lot of flaws. But he is the typical glass cannon, let's be honest about it. He hits extremely hard. He hurt Povetkin in their fight, you know. A lot of people were criticising that fight. I was looking forward to it because ultimately, yes, chances are Povetkin was going to knock him out and that's what happened. But David Price always has the power to make any fight interesting. He's a he's an intriguing attraction. He brings something that very few other fighters bring to the table. Every single David Price fight you're going to see from now on, it's going to be edge of your seat stuff. It really is nail-biting TV, and he makes for great entertainment. And I feel that that's what David Price's role in the sport is right now. David Price still to this day harbours hopes of somehow getting a world title shot. Now I feel that is ludicrous, I don't think that's possible at all, but if David Price genuinely wants that, then the people out there saying he needs to fight low-level guys and build back up, you know, he's not going to get a title shot that way. He's about 34, 35 years old. He's not got much time left. He needs to be taking these type of fights, and he needs to be winning them. If he were to beat Sergey Kuzmin, who is an undefeated prospect, 12-0, decent amateur background, he's got somewhat of a name amongst heavyweight hardcores. If David Price were to beat him, it pumps a little bit of life into his career, and then maybe from there he can get a semi-big fight, and if he wins that fight, then he's right back in the picture. You know, David Price fighting guys with losing records or guys who have no chance of winning, it's not going to do his career any good. And it's really not going to get him to where he wants to be. And for people out there saying that Price should take lower level tune-up fights for safety reasons, well, yeah, he might not get hurt in the actual fights, but don't forget, in building up to these tune-up fights, he's going to have to be taking part in training camps and sparring. So taking these type of tune-up fights is going to prolong his career even further, and obviously by doing that he's going to be taking more punishment in these training camps, in these sparring sessions, and overall he's going to be in an even worse state because a lot of the wear and tear and punishment fighters take actually goes on in the gym. So making David Price fight pointless tune-up fights by prolonging his career like that could actually be worse for his health than actually jumping straight in with Sergey Kuzmin. So I've not really got an issue with this fight. Not only that, I do feel Kuzmin is beatable. Defensively, he leaves a lot of openings. He's an aggressive fighter. He likes to come forward. He likes to use that, pull that jab and throw that right hand behind it. He's quite aggressive. But when he comes forward, doesn't really move his head. His feet are quite slow. And, you know, overall, defensively, he's just not that good as far as I'm concerned. And I feel he could be taken apart by a guy with good straight punches, you know, a good jab and a good right hand. I know David Price's jab, for the most part, it's not what it should be for a guy of his size, but when he flicks it out there with authority, it's a damaging punch. It can flick the head back. and it can really make a fighter second guess whether to come forward. And obviously in that right hand, David Price does have a lot of power. So Kuzmin coming forward is at risk of getting hit by that David Price right hand. I did see a bit of Kuzmin in the amateurs, and I know he appears to have a good chin, but listen, Povetkin has a good chin and Price managed to hurt him. So listen, I make Kuzmin a favourite in this fight, don't get me wrong, but Price hits hard enough to do some serious damage. So he always has a puncher's chance, and that's what's so entertaining about David Price. So Price versus Kuzmin to me is a good fight. I would watch it, and it's a fight I would be curious about. What do you guys think of this potential fight? Peace.